Hello guys, how are you doing? Welcome to my channel. I want to start off first by saying thank you for tuning in and watching the video. I hope you stay. I hope you like, subscribe, and share the video. If you are unfamiliar how my videos work, I usually have timestamps in the description of the different spreads that I do. If I decide to do different spreads, I usually do a finance and a love reading. I start off with general reading, so this will be the general reading is basically what comes up comes out, and that's usually how my readings work. So let's get going. Let's get started here and see what is coming up for you in the general spread. Okay, so I feel like you're going through a hard time right now. Oops, the cards are pretty far away. You're going through a hard time right now. Like, who isn't going through a hard time right now, right, in this economy? But particularly there needs to be, so this is like a hard pill to swallow when you are going through difficulties, because the only thing you want to hear when you have issues or problem is that there will be a resolve. And so I'm not here to tell you that these cards are immediately telling you that there will be a resolve to whatever issues you're dealing with right now, but the universe literally is telling you to hold on, hang on. Like, it's like if you're hanging off a cliff for your dear life. Like, I feel like this is the situation for some people, right? Hanging off a cliff for dear life, and everything in your bones or your mind and your heart and your will is telling you to keep holding on, but your body is just giving out. And that's what the Ten of Wands is showing. Your body is giving out, but you hear this voice in the back of your head, your willpower, right? It's willpower. That's what the Strength card is. You hear the voice of the willpower telling you to know, hold on, stay strong, do not let go. Because if you fall, it will be because you let go, period. Not because your body gives out, not because your hands hurt. All of that is happening, but what Spirit is telling you, that you're going to stay on the cliff throughout all of the pain. The only reason you're going to fall off that cliff is because you let go. So you're going to have to endure the pain and the worry and the suffering and the not knowing if somebody's coming to help you or rescue you off that cliff. You're just going to have to stay strong. And I would make the prediction that you will be saved off that cliff. Like, something's coming to save you off that cliff. But because you have a major arcana. If you didn't have a major arcana here, I'd be like, you're gonna have to figure some stuff out. But because it is a spiritual sort of help, because it is the universe, because it is the divine, because it is something greater than what we can observe with our eyes that is coming to relieve you of this or these burdens, the pain of having to wait, is way more extreme. And that is, I don't know why that is. I don't know what I could tell you about that. I don't know the reasoning behind why spiritual lessons are so much more painful. Like, if you were, I guess the best way to explain it would be, if you are going through some financial issues right now because, I don't know, you effed up and you got fired from a job, right? You'll go through a hiccup for like a month, right? And then you'll turn around and get another job. You just got to hit the ground, put applications in, but, interview, you hit the ground running, right? You got to do a lot of work that's the Ten of Wands as well. That's hardship as well. But that's because of a hardship that's not on a spiritual level. We can handle, we can deal with, as long as we have, the willpower, the guts, the drive, we can get ourselves out of it, right? Some people just don't have the drive to get themselves out of the BS that they get themselves into. And they ascribe it to everything spiritual. And it's like, no, it's really you. Like, you have all of the structure, the ability, the capacity to get yourself out, but instead you just continue to let yourself roll around in the mud. It's a you thing. But when it comes to spiritual stuff, it's like, you go through that phase in your life where every freaking thing is going wrong. And you're like, this is orchestrated. I am not doing anything. Like, yeah, everybody can do better in life, but nothing that I'm doing should create these kind of catastrophes that are happening in my life. There's that saying where when it rains, it pours, or we have that saying here in America, when it rains, it pours, or everything comes in threes. Like, the death of a parent, and then catching your spouse cheating, and then getting a divorce, and then losing your house. That's 4. But you get what I'm saying? Like, huge life-changing hard events that are out of your control, and you're like, and that's the when you get on your knees and you're like, what the hell, God? That's what I'm seeing for you, and that's what I'm seeing in this spread. Like, what the hell is going on right now? What are you test like Job? You know, I'm not a Christian, but obviously I grew up in a Christian household, so I know about Bible stories. Like Job, everything is getting put up by God, and when God puts, like, you just take God as a metaphor for whatever you believe in, the universe, divine, you know, spiritual lessons, however it go. When the spiritual is putting those complications in your life, they are backbreaking. They are going to bring you to your knees, and they're meant to bring you to your knees. I haven't quite figured it out yet. I am not so advanced in my spiritual journey where I can tell you some BS about some things that I don't know. Okay, I don't know why the spiritual hardships that come into our life are harder than the ones we create for ourselves, but they are. And it's like, you're supposed to be here to protect me. Why are you creating hardships in my life? But they're meant to bring you to your knees. And this is a spiritual hardship that's going on in your life that's meant to bring you to your knees. I do not know why. Only thing I could tell you is what I do know. And what I do know, what I'm seeing in the cards, is that you are meant to hold on. Because you're not going to fall. The Spirit's not going to let you fall. Like, that is the belief. That's like, I don't know the best way. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a Christian, but the best way I can describe it, some stories in the Bible are describe the human experience to a T. Like, they do. As far as learning lesson stories, they describe the human experience to the T. And Job is one of those stories that describes the human lesson to a T. When it's spiritual that's being put on you, hardships is going to bring you to your freaking knees. Absolutely. Didn't he lose his child? He lost his house. He got inflicted with diseases. Bring you to your knees, to the point where I am at my lowest of the low. There's nothing I can do to bring myself out of this, and things just keep getting put on me, right? But it's meant to bring you to your knees, period. I do not know why. So you have to accept it. But the thing about it is, God never left Job, right? He lifted all of those things from his life after he went through it. And to the point where he was like, wasn't he like cussing God out or something? Like, he was really, you know, he was at his wit's end. And we all get that point where you're cussing out the universe, you're cussing out God, you're cussing out, you know, it's like you're at your wit's end. And I think because the bet was between the devil and God, that if God kept putting hardships on Joel, he'll lose his faith and stuff like that. But anyways, it seems like, goes back to, like, even if it's not Christian, it goes back to like the Greek mythology, where the gods would inflict humans for fun, out of their amusement, out of a bet, out of, competition between, and inflict all this pain and hurt and suffering onto humans to prove something to each other. And it seems cruel, right? So I don't know. I don't have an answer for why that happens. I am not on a 5D. I am not a monk. I have not spent the last 15 years of my life meditating at a monastery. I cannot tell you that part, but I know that it is a spiritual hardship, and you are not going to fall. You're not going to fall off the cliff, period. I don't care how and by sometimes, depending on your situation and what your lesson is in that particular hardship, not falling off the cliff could simply mean not dying. You can be homeless, you don't have no food, you don't have no income, and you feel like you're going to die, but for some reason you don't, and you get out of it and life gets better after it. So I'm not saying that if you're on the verge of a foreclosure and you have nowhere to go, I'm not saying that you're not going to have to sleep in your car. You might have to sleep in your car. But the fact of the matter is, if you do not give up, you are not going to fall off the cliff. And if the cliff for you is just simply not dying, then that's what it is, until you get the help that's coming for you. That Spirit is sending you eventually. And that's hard to hear, but that is what I'm getting in this reading. That is what I'm getting. Yeah. Yeah, is it something? Okay, I can tell you a little bit of what I think the lesson is based on the cards here. It's about letting go of something on an emotional level, or resetting your emotional space. And I know that sounds like a lot of word salad. Okay, I get it. But there's something here about resetting. And it's not the reason why I don't think it's important to tell you the why, because again, like I said, I'm not a monk on a monastery, meditating for 15 years. So I don't really understand the spiritual implications of why this happens to us, but I can tell you a little bit about, and it might not be the whole story, it might not be the entire reason, but there's something here about resetting your emotional space. And I don't know, that's what I heard, that's what I got, that's what's in the cards. because it needs to be a death of something emotional in your life. So not a death, but a reset, right? A reset, like the reset button needs to get hit on some sort of emotional space in your life. And then after that happens, there will be, you got the Ace of Wands here, there will be newness that comes into your life, and it won't be because of your choice. There's nothing here you can do but wait. You got the Seven of Pentacles here. There's nothing you can do with the Two of Wands in the reverse. You don't have options, and that's what I was telling you. You don't have options. You got the Two of Wands. There are no options for you. You can't do anything. Like I said, this is a spiritual hardship that is being placed on you in order to achieve a goal or a purpose. We don't never know what that goal or purpose is until we're out on the other side of it, and that's why people have testimonies and things like that in church, and why people always have a story after hardship, right? And what they learned and the lessons that they learned, because you're not going to learn it in it, because all you're focusing is how hard it is, how effed up you are, how unfair things are, how miserable you are. But it's meant to take you through the process of what you're specifically meant. Like if you think about each individual person, and even though people learn the same lessons because we're all human in a human experience, your lesson is different than another person's lesson who's going through a spiritual hardship at the time. And you're a computer, and you have to program different lessons into the programming. And it's like a Grand Theft Auto or Sims, or you have to go through certain things in order to get to the next level, and this is just your time to go through that thing. Other people have gone through that thing. You're not the only person who has, although it feels like you're the only person who has when you are going through it. But you're not. It's just your time to go through it. And so the programming is that this is, hit the enter button, the programming is set, you're going through that particular episode or however lesson in the computer programming. This is your time. This is your opportunity to go through it so that you can come to the other end and level up, right? So that's what I'm saying for you in the general spread. So let's sorry, my nose, I'm like really congested right now. Let's go to the love spread. Love. What's going on with love for the collective? Confusion, a lot of confusion, emotional confusion, and a lot of spiritual stuff. Jesus, guys. A lot of spiritual stuff going on with you. I'm gonna pick a couple cards out. Two major arcana cards in your love life. There is a major change going on in your love life right now. A major change. I don't think it's stagnancy. Or maybe it is stagnancy. You're waiting for something new and you're confused on why something new hasn't developed. So you're waiting on something new right now and you're confused on why something new hasn't developed in your love life. You're getting a lot of... You're tired of casual sex. So somebody here is tired of casual sex, and even if you're not having casual sex, it's sexual romantic relationships that don't form into deep commitments, right? I'm gonna actually pull some other cards for this because there is stagnancy here, and there's a lot of confusion on what to do. What's the moon card? Or why? It's like why. The question is a big why. If I had one word to explain this love reading, the spread that came out, it's a big why, right? There's a lot of attraction. You see, like, this is somebody who's like tired of attraction. So he's tired of attraction. So I was getting this in readings earlier, but the way that I will describe this, the best I could describe it is, don't try. You meant to be stagnant. That's how stagnant. So you got the Hangman right here with the Chariot. The Chariot is literally the antithesis of the Hangman. This is like tug of war. And you have the Strength card again showing up. So again, with the love reading, you're going through a spiritual block. There's blocks all around in your life, blocks everywhere. But the natural reaction to those blocks is to force something to happen. And that's what's being hidden, this spiritual block. Honey, I'm telling you, there's nothing you can do on a 3D human. Like, there is nothing. You can't fight against your guides and spirit and the divine and the universe. You can't. It's just, and it's so frustrating because it's like you do everything you can. And it's like playing tug of war with the moon. Like, if you threw a rope to the moon and you decided we're going to play tug of war, I'm going to pull the moon down, who do you think is going to win? You or the moon? And that right now, it seems like that's your only option, is to play tug of war with the universe, to play tug of war with the divine. You're trying to force something to come into your life, and spirit and divine just standing there looking at you, shaking their head like, what is this fool doing? Are you literally trying to bring the moon down? Yep. Let's see how that works out for you. And when you stop struggling, then maybe we'll send you some help. So there is a serious spiritual block in your life right now when it comes to romance. And I know you're tired of it, but I was going to say about the practicality over the attraction. And it might sound odd to hear like somebody say, oh, you're tired of attraction. I feel like whoever I'm reading for, they are tired of attraction. It's like a lot of attraction comes into your life that doesn't turn into anything solid. And so at this point, you're starting to wonder or question, well, what the hell is attraction for? Attraction is supposed to bring the things into my life. If it's not bringing and keeping things into my life, or things just want to come into my life to use me for attraction, how is attraction helping me? So there's something here about like sort of animosity towards attraction. It's like, I'm ready to pick the practical choice. You know, people oftentimes, and you know, that's what marriage was based off, partnership was based off, was a practical union. You know, we need each other to survive, to live, to have families, to grow our legacy, to do all these things in the 3D world. And so it's practical to partner up with a person, right? To live with them, to cohabitate. And you're ready for the cohabitation part of the human experience. It's like, you got the attraction part, you got the sex part, you got, you know, the people coming in, knocking at your door. They just don't want to stay in the house. And so at this point, you're starting to be a little antagonistic towards even the idea of attraction. I'm gonna pull some cards here and see what, because I'm always interested here. I don't know why I don't read oracle cards in the reverse unless oracle cards. I had one deck of oracle cards that are meant to come out in the reverse, and yeah. Oh damn! Look at that. That couldn't be more perfect. That could not have been more perfect. Fighting it. Erase. It says lean on your friends right now, because there will not be a reconciliation or a commitment with anybody from your past. If there's someone from your past, you don't have to let that go. And look, don't force it. Okay, well it's telling me, I thought I was gonna get a different match. Sometimes this is the crazy thing about when I do readings, and then I don't normally read oracle cards in the reverse. Oh my god, I don't know why this is coming up in the reverse, but I really do feel like this was meant to come up in the reverse. But like I said, whatever, I'm not gonna go through my process. I have a process. Just know I have a process. Was coming up in the reverse, but the cards after was like, well, why is the comparable card coming in reverse? I don't read oracles in the reverse. But then divine timing came out. It was basically what this whole reading has been about, me telling you that you can't force it. Like you're fighting letting something go, or like something like an unemotional space that needs to be let go of. And then I said don't force it. It's like throwing a rope around the moon and the universe is looking at you, or divine look at you laughing like, what is this fool doing? You can't fight it. So you're trying to force something here that spirit is telling you is spiritual. Divine timing, whether you believe in it or not, it's just confirmation of the things that I get when I do tarot. And sometimes the reason, unless I just go straight to oracles first, is the reason I do not and if you're wondering why whoever you're thinking of isn't coming back, it is because of a third party. This person isn't for you. Their feelings for you are starting to fade because of their interest in another person, right? And it's time to let this go. Maybe you need to do some traveling and with friends, not romantic partners, because there will not be a reconciliation, because this person is either getting back together with somebody from the past, or they're saying somebody from your past isn't coming back because of a third party. and you're fighting letting it go, and Spirit is telling you you don't have a choice. We're telling you don't have a choice. Sometimes Spirit can be a bit of an asshole. Honestly, I feel like they can, because it's like they don't have a lot of patience, and it's like, I think because we have a finite amount of time on this planet, and I think us in our meat suit, not and because Spirit knows that, and there's certain things that they want to happen in your life, and the reason that certain things don't happen in our life is because we're fighting it. And I think Spirit is whatever Spirit is to you, the universe, divine, however you believe, is kind of sick of humans fighting their plan for them. And it's like they don't have a lot of patience, nor do they have a lot of sympathy. It's like, let it go already. Like, you keep fighting this, but we're just sitting here looking at you, shaking our head like, you're not going to win this battle. We're not allowing this relationship to take place. We're not allowing this person to come back to your life. You can cry. You can get in the fetal position. You can cuss us out. You can stump your feet. You can act like a 5-year-old child having a tantrum all you want to, but I don't care. This is not happening for you. And whether you believe in divine timing or not, it's just, like, funny how when I said it in tarot, and then the oracle cards literally say the same thing. So oftentimes when I do tarot readings, because I pick oracle card, and the oracle cards literally like spell out what I just said in a tarot reading, so I usually like to go to oracle cards first. So I kind of knew it was kind of pointless to go to the oracle cards. So I was like, no, they're fun, let's do it. But it's nice to see the confirmation of what came out in tarot. So I don't even know, I'm gonna be all the way honest, I got some other love cards, but there's no point, because you're at a standstill right now. Your love life is at a standstill because it is spiritual, and it's meant to be that way, because you need to go through an emotional reset. So there's no point in me pulling more love oracle cards, because there's nothing coming right now, other than the process of you letting whatever you need to let go, and waiting for divine timing, whatever the hell that means. Whatever the hell that means, that's what you're waiting on. Okay, so let's do finance. Let's do finance. Finance. What is going on with your finances for the week? This is just immediate. It's not like for the year or anything. So if something bad does come out, it's until my next reading. Like that. Man, y'all got a lot of spiritual. This is a heavy spiritual reading. This is like a reading that deserves like an hour long. But last hour long reading didn't get a lot of views, so I'm like, I'm not going there. It's just a waste of space at this point. But there's a lot of, all your cards came out. This came out with the so the general reading was spiritual. The love reading was definitely spiritual. You have blocks there. The finance reading, like, Spirit is trying to get at you when it comes to this finances. They are trying. They're like pulling you by the neck at this point. There's some heavy stuff going on with your money and your finances that need to be reset. What's this, the devil? I don't even know how to read this as far as finance when it comes. I know it's just some really heavy stuff going on with your finances. I know that much. But can I get some minor arcana cards to tell me exactly what the heck is going on here? Because you got all major arcana cards for finance. The hell going on with your finances that Spirit has to step in and take control? Okay, so I'm sorry. I said that as soon as I said that, it popped in my head what the cards are trying to tell me. This is very specific. This is not for everybody. So if you don't have this, if this is not you, or you don't have somebody in your life dealing with this, then clearly it's not for you. Somebody has spending a lot of money on a drinking habit, like a lot of money. So if you are specifically in a partnership or in a living situation where you live with someone who can spend money on an addiction, specifically drinking, and you're wondering where your money is going, that's where your money is going. If this person is spending $60 on one bottle and they get through one bottle in 2 hours, that's where the money is going. They are draining, and this is why the devil card is here, they are draining finances into this addiction. So that needs to be addressed, because this person, the person that's spending the money on the addiction, I think you thought, or like I said, if this is you, yeah, you thought somebody needs to speak up, the Ace of Swords here. You thought for a long time, it's like, So what? So and so drinks, okay, and big deal. We have a happy family outside of that, or however it goes, whatever the situation is. So what? They drink, and you come home and have a bottle of wine. Like who is that hurting, right? Well, it's hurting when the bottle, as opposed, a $15 bottle of wine, as opposed to $60 bottle of wine that you get through in the night. It's hurting the finances, right? And so because you didn't really think it was a big deal, or they had a hold on it, they had a control over whatever it was, maybe you didn't realize that the drinking was as severe as it is. This person, and this is a finance reading, so I didn't want to get into this, but this person does have an addiction. They do need some help. They are not having an addiction in the sense of, you have to understand, when it comes to anything outside of ourselves that we allow to control us. Like, I drink, but I don't allow alcohol to control me. So if the alcohol is controlling the person, where there are negative effects in your practical everyday life because of it, that's when you can consider it an addiction. This person is not balanced when it comes to, you have the temperance in the reverse, and the temperance fights the devil. It's the only card. Now, there are other cards you can use to help you get to realizations about the devil, but the temperance is the only card in the spiritual tarot deck, major arcanas, that balances the devil. The devil is about being uncontrollable, right? It's about obsessions, going over the edge. It's about indulgence. The temperance is about finding balance within our indulgences. The temperance is coming up in the reverse. You saw me shuffle those cards, and the devil is coming out in the upright. If you want to go, learn about tarot and see how accurate that description is, and how these cards came out in the reading, you can do that as well. It's all over the internet. You don't have to pay to learn for tarot, but. And then the world card coming up in the reverse, like, this is not over. It's far from over. I think you thought it was over. Like, you noticed it and like, oh, they'll stop eventually. They're not going to stop because they have not found balance. It's taking control of this. The addiction that this person has, that they're wasting money on, has control over them. Okay. Does not matter how deep it runs into their pockets. That's what an addiction does, right? It puts you in a bad spot, and you can see yourself going in that bad spot. But it doesn't matter because you have the temperance card in the reverse. They can't find balance. It's like sliding off the side of a cliff. Have you ever, like, the idea of sliding off the side of a cliff and trying to claw your way, but you're not going to claw your way back up. The inertia is going to carry you down that cliff, and that's what's happening to this person. So there needs to be an address of the situation. And I understand you didn't want to address it. I understand that you notice the money. It was like, okay, this is getting, or at what point are you going to notice that you're spending too much of our money on the bottles or whatever the addiction is? It's not that they don't notice, is that they can't stop. And I don't think you realize it got to the point that they can't stop themselves. So it needs to be addressed because that's where the money is going. All right. So that is what I have for you. That is general love and finance. I hope that helped. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you like, subscribe, and share. And I hope you come back for my next video. Until then, bye-bye.